Before we get started, I want to share that you're going to need some Reynolds Kitchen oven bags. This is for up to 8 pounds of meat. Make sure you preheat your oven on 350. Now let's season this meat. I'm using a chuck roast. I'm going to start off by adding some onion powder and just sprinkle it on. Yes, that looks like it's a lot, but it's not. Some garlic powder. I have some paprika. Make sure you get a good coat of paprika on here. And then I'm going to use some, this is the steak and meat carne. You can find it in your local Walmart. Not too much, just enough for taste. I'm using Himalayan pink salt. You could use whatever salt you like. And then some black and white peppercorn. You could use regular pepper if you like. I have 2 large cloves of garlic. This is chopped. I'm going to go ahead and add some to the bottom of this. And then you just want to kind of press everything in. And then I'm going to flip my chuck roast and I'm going to repeat everything all over again. Onion powder. Garlic powder. Paprika. Steak and meat carne. Salt, pepper, the rest of my garlic, press that in, and just make sure you rub everything, get the ends. We are ready for the Reynolds Kitchen oven bags. You're going to place your Reynolds bag right here, your baking bag. Add about a tablespoon of flour, just regular flour, and just sprinkle it in on the bottom. And just spread it out a bit. Now I'm going to add some of my sliced, these are sliced purple onion. I'm just going to add them right there on top of the flour. And then I'm going to place my chuck roast right on top of those onions. Then I'm going to take the remaining sliced purple onion and put it on top. And this is 1 medium-sized onion. Make sure your chuck roast is laying flat and get everything adjusted. And then you're going to go ahead and tie your bag up. These are the ties that come with your bags. And you're going to make sure you get a nice, some air in here. Make sure you fluff it. Grab your bag like this, and then we're going to tie it shut. I like to twist mine like that, and give it a nice fluff. And then you're going to add a bit of water to this baking pan, a cup of water, and just kind of add it in and see how much I need. And probably a cup and a half will do. Don't forget to take a knife or whatever you have and just pop just a couple slices in the top of the bag just to release some of the air for when it's baking so it doesn't pop or just burst. My oven has been preheating at 350. I'm going to bake this for about 4.5 to 5 hours. You're going to need bacon for the side. I'm making German potato salad. You want to do your own because you're going to need the grease, because the grease is going to be part of the dressing for the actual salad itself. I'm going to do about 4 pieces. For the potato salad, you're going to need dill and onion. You could use spring onion, green onion if you like. I'm going to be using purple. You don't need celery. I just like it in my salad. And then parsley is also optional. Take all the stems off of my dill. And just make sure you got the big stems off. You don't have to worry about the really small tender ones. Make sure you chop your dill and just get it nice and diced up so you could evenly spread it throughout your whole entire salad. The same goes for the parsley. I may not use all of this because with parsley it's kind of tougher, so you just want to make sure you chop it up a bit bigger than your dill, but you want more dill than parsley. So I'm probably just going to grab about that much and toss it in. I'm only using 2 of my celery stalks. I don't need that much. And you just want to make sure you slice it as thin as you could get it. This is what it's looking like. You just want it nice and thin. And once again, the celery is optional if you don't want it in there. I just like an extra bit of texture and crunch. You could use spring onion, green onion if you like. I just like the taste of the purple onion. I'm not going to dice it. I am going to slice it as thin as I can get it. So you should have some nice thin slices and just add them to your bowl. 1 clove of garlic. This is going to be for the dressing for the salad. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my garlic ready. I'm going to add my clove of garlic to the bacon fat. And all I did was take my bacon fat from the pan that I'm cooking my bacon on and just put that in here with my garlic. And that's going to be the dressing, part of the dressing. Season this with a bit of black and white pepper. You could just use regular pepper if you like. And then I'm going to use a bit of Himalayan pink salt. This is just all natural, regular vinegar. I think equal amounts for me is good. So equal amounts bacon fat and vinegar. I put my vegetables in the refrigerator, but for this, I'm going to leave it out, let it set at room temperature, because I want the garlic and everything just to marinate with that bacon and that vinegar and just do its thing. So I'm just adding a bit more. And then when you add that, you want to just adjust it a bit and add a bit more vinegar, about the same amount. I'm going to go ahead and just stir that up a bit. Yes, I'm using these because I can. For your potato salad, of course, you're going to need potatoes. I'm going to be using these red potatoes. You're going to cook them whole, and you want to cook them, bring it to a boil, then bring the boil down to just a simmer or a medium boil. And you're going to cook these until they're fork tender, not falling apart. You don't want it to where it's burnt. You just want it nice and golden. So I'm going to go ahead and set it on a paper towel. We're going to wait for the potatoes to be done. And then we are going to put this salad together. I have my bacon bits here. I did give them a chop. These are all nice and chopped up, nice and crispy, not too brown. You don't want it burnt. And they're ready to go in the bowl. And then I have my potatoes. These are room temperature. Keep in mind you want to cook them until they're fork tender. The skin is falling off, but these are fork tender. They're not falling apart because you don't want them mushy. I'm leaving the skin on. You could take it off if you like. It all depends on your preference. And just cube it up. You know, just like that. A nice size that you would like in your salad. Add them in the bowl. If you want to add more, go ahead. It just depends on how much you're making. Before I add the dressing, I'm going to season my potatoes with some salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt. You could use whatever you like. And pepper. Before I add my dressing, I'm going to go ahead and mix this and just get everything nice and mixed. Now we're going to give this a nice shake. And we're going to add the dressing that we created from the vinegar, the bacon, the salt and pepper, and the garlic. We're going to add this to our potato salad. Just enough for taste. You don't need all of it. So when you add your dressing, just kind of keep an eye on it. And if your potatoes feel a bit firm and you feel you want more dressing for taste, you go ahead and add some. Just make sure you don't overwhelm your potatoes so they don't turn to mush. I'm giving this a taste test again. This is my second bite. Oh my God. That is so good. The roast is done. Yes, it smells so good in here. This is what's going on in the bag. This is nice and tender. All this good juice. You don't need barbecue sauce if you don't want it. I've already taken some out and I put it on a plate. You don't need barbecue sauce for this chuck roast. Everything in the bag is delicious. But if you feel you want some barbecue sauce, put some on the side. I do. You have your German potato salad. I also added some baked beans and you're good to go. This is so good if you want barbecue without the barbecue. Try it out, cook it up, and I'll see you in my next video.